What's up, guys? Cat Daddy Crypto here. You know what I need you to do. Hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay up to date with news around KASPA and KASPA's ecosystem as a whole, as well as the rest of the crypto market. Subscribe and like this video. Let's get it. Hey, what's up, guys? I had a little conversation with Grok earlier today, and this is what I asked him. Can you give me KASPA's price target for this cycle in the most bearish scenario if it does not get any Tier 1 exchange listings? In the most bullish scenario, if it gets at least one Tier 1 exchange listing, okay? And this is what he said. I'm not going to read this entire thing because it's pretty lengthy, goes through a lot of detail here, but I'm going to read the first paragraph and then the summary for the bearish and the bullish scenarios here, okay? And then I added on another question afterwards, and we'll get to that at the end. The bearish scenario, no Tier 1 exchange listings. In a bearish scenario where KASPA fails to secure a Tier 1 exchange listing, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, it's already on Kraken, so that's weird that it says that anyways, beyond the point. Its price growth is likely to be constrained by limited liquidity, reduced investor access, and lower market cap visibility. The lack of a Tier 1 listing could dampen retail institution interest, leading to subdued trading volume and price appreciation. Additionally, macroeconomic uncertainties such as global market instability or a potential recession could exacerbate downward pressure on altcoins like KASPA. Okay? In the bullish scenario, if KASPA secures a Tier 1 exchange listing, Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken, again, forget the fact that they put Kraken in there, it could significantly boost its visibility, liquidity, and investor interest. A Tier 1 listing would attract institutional and retail investors, increase trading volume, and potentially trigger a price surge, especially in a bullish market cycle driven by Bitcoin's performance or post-halving momentum. Okay? And then it gives a bunch of key factors here. But what I really want to see is the summary down here. Bearish scenario. KASPA could trade between 4 and 8 cents by the end of 2025. This is the bearish scenario, by the way, reflecting limited liquidity, market corrections, and token unlock pressure. So obviously we know token unlock is not the correct term for KASPA. It's proof of work. But we know what they're trying to say there. More KASPA will be in circulation because more of it will be mined by then. But it's beyond the point. So in the bearish scenario here, Grok is saying 4 to 8 cents. I find that a little bit hard to believe because we are above 8 cents right now. Even if it doesn't secure a Tier 1 listing, I still think we're going to go higher than that. Right? That's just my personal opinion. I don't know that they're taking into account how absolutely ridiculous market caps get in the parabolic phase. So let's just take that with a grain of salt right there, right? And on top of that, I have pretty high conviction that we're going to get at least one Tier 1 exchange. I mean, if nothing else, I think we should get Binance this cycle, okay? And I don't really have any sort of inside information on that. It's just the fact that they've already listed KASPA futures, and they tend to pretty much 100% of the time list spot at some point after that, okay? So let's move on to the bullish scenario. If they secure at least one Tier 1 listing, KASPA could reach 65 cents to $1 by the end of 2025, driven by increased liquidity, investor interest, and bullish market conditions. So it's stating here, based on their research on the interwebs, that if we secure one Tier 1 listing this cycle, 65 cents to $1 is a good price range for KASPA to top out at this market peak this cycle. Now, as interesting as that is, I've told you guys my kind of price prediction this cycle is like somewhere between $1 and $3, okay? And there's a few different things that I base that on. I'm not going to go into those in this video. I have previous videos explaining some of that. But this kind of fits my, the top end of what they're saying if we get one tier 1 listing is kind of my bottom end of what I think we might top out at this cycle. But the third part to this is expanding on this, because what if we don't just get one tier 1 listing, right? But we get all 3 tier 1 listings. And I asked them specifically, what if KASPA gets listed on all top 3 tier 1 exchanges, Binance, Coinbase, and Crypto.com? Grok then tells us that if KASPA secures listings on all top 3 tier 1 exchanges, Binance, Coinbase, and Crypto.com, in this current market cycle, it would significantly enhance its market visibility, liquidity, and adoption potential. This scenario represents an extremely bullish case, as these 3 exchanges are among the largest globally, offering access to millions of retail and institutional investors. Below, I outline the potential price target for KASPA in the scenario and considering the amplified impact of multiple tier 1 listings. So again, we're going to skip all this fluff in the middle and we're going to go down to the summary. And the summary reads, if KASPA secures listings on Binance, Coinbase, and Crypto.com, it could reach $2 to $5 by the end of 2025, driven by unprecedented liquidity, investor interest, bullish market conditions. The $2 target reflects a realistic but optimistic outcome, while $5 assumes an aggressive bull run with significant market cap growth. Investors should monitor listing announcements, Bitcoin's price action, and technical indicators for timing entries and exits. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, so conduct through blah, 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 financial advisor, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so in the case that we get all 3 of those tier 1s, Binance, Coinbase, and Crypto.com, which is a possibility, I think, well, yeah, let's just say I think it's a possibility, right? I don't know for sure what's going to happen, but a $2 to $5 price range is what the target window might be if we secure all those listings. So everything kind of falls, kind of right into what I kind of think might happen, by the end of this year. And I would be extremely happy with a $2 to $5 KASPA at the end of the cycle. Now, I'd love to hear your guys' comments down below, what you guys think about these price targets based on tier 1 exchange listings, okay? And I didn't even mention in here in the questions to Grok about smart contracts because we already know that they are going to be live. Maybe that would change some of these predictions in here, but I'm going to assume, even though you should never assume, that Grok already knows that smart contracts are on the way, right? Although that gives me a little bit of pause because they did mention up here that Kraken is a potential tier 1 listing that they have not been listed on. So anyways, beyond the point, let's just assume they already know smart contracts are on the way. And if we get all 3 of these tier 1 exchange listings, our potential targets are $2 to $5, okay? So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know if you think this is outlandish. Let me know if you think this is way too bearish or anywhere in between. And lastly, before I let you guys go, 3 days ago, this is posted on Binance's website, by the way, Donald Trump says in a live interview that the U.S. will boom in 5 to 6 months. And the significance of that right there could be underappreciated and understated. Because if we look out 5 to 6 months from now, where does that put us? December, January. Where does the crypto market usually top out in post-halving years? November, December, January in 2018. Very interesting timing. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comment section. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel because at 10,000 subscribers, we are giving away 10,000 KASPA. At the time of this video, 10,000 KASPA is worth almost $900. At the peak of the market, 10,000 KASPA is going to be worth a hell of a lot more than that. So if you want to win 10,000 KASPA, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, okay? And let's see if we can get to that number before the end of this year, before the peak of this cycle, so that I can give that KASPA away at the peak of the market when it's worth it's top dollar for the cycle, and you guys can decide what you want to do with it. Sell it, hold it. It's up to you at that point. But it's going to be worth a lot more money in 5 or 6 months than it is right now. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And in the meantime, guys, continue to pack your damn bags before it's too late. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.